opinion of people who live in supported housing?
Aren't they all alcoholics or on drugs?
Is it for people coming out of prison?
I wouldn't feel safe with those people in my street.
It doesn't matter what you say, these projects are no good.
People would be too scared to leave their homes.
Homeless people only have themselves to blame.
There are a lot of people out there who, through no fault of their own, have found themselves in difficulties. And the fact of the matter is, whether it's the young or whether it's the elderly, you know, at some point in our lives, we may need help and support.
There's lots of people who find themselves at a point in their lives, whether it have been through their illness, having been brought up in care, having family and relationship trouble, or for whatever reason, find themselves homeless, essentially. And, you know, with the cuts in the benefits and everything at the moment, it's really hard, especially for people, young people, to be able to afford to live on their own, and especially if they've never had the experience of budgeting, cooking for themselves, you know, dealing with letters, phone calls, all them things that we possibly take for granted because we've got that support network around us.
I didn't have much of an idea of supported housing. I thought it was all about alcohol and drug rehabilitation rather than having lots of different places for different things, i.e. mental health or homelessness and things like that.
Before I moved in here, no chores being done, no routines or anything. Either my sleeping routine's a bit messed up, I've actually got a sleeping routine now.
We work with everybody on an individual basis and find out what their needs are, and then we'll have support sessions with them, which is a chance for them to work one-to-one with a member of staff and talk about their needs and their progress.
And do you know what you want to do after that, or is that just the goal at the moment, or is that a step towards it?
Yeah, that's a step towards my main goal. My main goal is to get a job, basically, that gets me out of this country.
The bonds that you make, I think, in supported housing are kind of essential to your recovery, because you don't feel so alone in the world. I think when you suffer with mental health, you can feel very isolated and very much like you're alone.
Green, red. Green, red. How do you touch the buttons? Just tap them.
I had no idea there were as many people as there are in the world that suffer with what they're suffering with and don't receive the help that they need.
Wrong one.
Of us take for granted that we've got that stable home, we've got the loving, encouraging parents, you know, to feed that ambition. But if you haven't got that, projects like this are vital in order to fill in that gap, really.
My sister's a foster mother, and she had someone living with her that was coming out of care and needed to learn more independent living, and she told me about supporting lodgings. So I looked it up and found out about it, and that's how I got into it.
Rustic root vegetables and rigatoni solid.
Do you think you fancy that?
Yeah, that looks wild, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
The best experience in supported housing is cooking and all that. I'm feeling like I'm getting treated more like an adult, and I feel like I don't have to tell people that I'm going out. And you feel like it's your own place, don't you? Because you have your like own house keys and all that.
My hopes and aspirations are, you know, making a difference. I'm watching these kids be successful in whatever they want to do.
My hope is hopefully to have lots of money to get my own flat, a good job and career, maybe a wife or kids or something, and get married.
I think there's a lot of need for it, for these young people, because hostels and stuff where they'd normally go into, I don't think a lot of them would cope.
There'd be a lot of teenagers out there that would love a lot of help, especially a household like Lynn.
When I was 17, I found myself some private accommodation with a private landlord, but it wasn't very suitable and it wasn't in a good condition, but like I had to leave home. But when I was 18, I got offered a place in supported housing for young women, so that's where my journey began with supported housing. I was there for 18 months and I had my own flat, and I saw a support worker, I think it was a couple of times a week, but they were always available in the building for you to contact them if there was any issues. And they just taught me skills like how to manage my tenancy and how to integrate with the neighbours, and we'd do things like activities as a project together, so we built up friendships with the other people, and it was just a nice little community that we lived in, and you didn't really notice that you were having all that additional support that was helping you to maintain your tenancy and live independently. I moved out and moved into independent living, but I still had the support off the support works if I needed it, so it helped me maintain my tenancy and things, and it still encouraged me with the skills I was building on, and I've ended up going to Bangor University and I'm in my final year of my degree and just living a lot more stable life than I was.
What do you think supported housing is?
Basically, it's any form of housing that support is laid on for the people living there, whether it's the young, the elderly, the disabled. It's just to provide them a little bit of extra support to help them live comfortably in that establishment.
Who do you think supported housing is for?
Absolutely anyone, from the young to the elderly, disabled, anybody.
Especially for older people, vulnerable people.
Because I've had a heart bypass and I'm not getting any younger, I decided that I'd sell the house and move into sheltered housing, because I've been here before and it appeared to be quite pleasant.
I suppose it's for older people that need a backup, because you don't know if something's going to happen, and you've always got neighbours here. And as I say, with this system here, pull a cord, you'll get an answer in 2 minutes. Middle of the night, middle of the day.
Older people are living longer, and there is a lot of vulnerable people around that do need a bit of help. And I think it's a very good thing, and it's going to have to take off bigger than it is now.
My story is quite frightening, really. You know, in 2004 I had an extremely successful business. I had a beautiful wife, 2 young children. Houses not only in the UK but abroad. And by 2007 I was in prison and I'd lost everything. And my life has just escalated down and down. To the extent that, you know, obviously I tried to commit suicide.
The best part of this job, obviously, is to see someone come in, feel like they've got no hope in life, nowhere to go, and have given up on help, really, from other services, and this is really their last chance in their head to try and fix things. And in 6 months, get their own flat, be doing voluntary work, be working towards independence long term, and feel much more positive about life.
As far as I'm concerned at the moment, where I am, is the best place I could possibly be. You know, the thoughts of moving on to somewhere else or doing something else, to be honest, frightens me.
Here they're given a worker that works intensively with them on a one-to-one basis. We do very structured plans with them, so it's a step-by-step process. You need to do this before you can get to this, and how do we get everything done in between, and we target data and everything. So they work through that each week. The aim is that within about 6 months we're able to move them on into their own independent accommodation. For the majority of them we can do that. For some they need a bit longer, and that's fine, as long as we know that they're working towards their long-term goals.
Just the fact that you've got somewhere safe, and I mean this genuinely, somewhere safe that you can go to bed at night and you are not worried about what's going to happen. Tomorrow's another day. You can deal with that tomorrow. But to go to bed at night and not have to worry about what's going to happen that night is, well, it's priceless.
I was homeless. Not homeless as in on the streets. I was sleeping on my mum's couch and she wanted me out. And so if this hadn't come along, I don't know where I'd most probably be now.
People come here feeling quite demoralised about life, depressed, they've got a lot of issues, they've picked up a lot of baggage along the way. It's about letting go of the past, building on the future, and pointing them in the right direction, helping them to get their feet firmly on the ground and to move forward.
My perception of supported housing was for people that are in more need than I was at the time, and like drunken, homeless people that had nowhere to go, literally nowhere to go. And some people that had just come out of jail, because I got told it was for like murderers and all them kind of people. I was very, very, very nervous before I came here. You find yourself getting busier and busier as you go along, and as you meet people, you get given courses, and if you want to do them, then you can do them, and it sort of helps you that way, kind of thing. I've gained more skills. I've had a laugh here. I've gained more friends. They do help people. It may look like it doesn't, but it does really help people to move on, to find out, just to settle, to get things sorted. Even if they're in debt, it helps them sort the bills out and gets them back out of there. It helps you sort of move on to where you want to be.
What I would say is don't judge others. It could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your mother, it could be your father, whoever. Because you can be the wealthiest and have everything in front of you. And for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter what that reason is, that world can collapse around you. And you can end up in a situation where you've got literally nothing.